welcome back to my channel. As you can tell from the title of this video, as well as all the boxes surrounding me and the different background, I moved! I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in depth in another video, another vlog. Yes, vlogs are going to be coming back. I will be going over a lot in that one as far as where I've been, why I've been gone, why I haven't been doing vlogs, all of that. But in this video, we will be picking my June TBR, which I'm super excited for. Horton, are you okay? Sorry, Horton making weird noises. Super excited for my June TBR because June is my birthday month, so I'm really hoping to pick some fantastic books this month. Obviously, though, I haven't unpacked any of my books. These are not even all of the boxes of my books for just my TBR books. But I had to start somewhere. These, you can't even see some of the ones over here. The amount of boxes I decided we would pick my TBR from. And we'll go from there. Yes, it's a little silly to be doing this when I don't have all of them unpacked, but you know what? I really love my TBR videos. I love picking my TBR for the month. I don't know when I'm going to get everything unpacked because I want to do a lot to the room that I'm going to use as like my little library before I put all the books on the shelves. So we're just doing the thing anyway, and I figured this would be kind of fun because I don't know, other than the boxes that say special edition, I don't know which boxes contain what. We're just going to pick a prompt for my TBR jar still, and then we're going to grab a box and see what we can find in it that fits. That being said, I do have a couple that are ones that'll stay consistent on my TBR per month, so we'll see if we can find them in here. I pick a classic, I pick an Agatha Christie, and I pick a Mary Higgins Clark book. Just a random one, so if I find a box that does that, that won't be a prompt anymore. It'll just be, I'm gonna grab whichever one's on the top. And then I am also reading Fairydale as part of a book club. I am part of Emmy Reed's book club. I absolutely adore her channel, and when I found out that she hosted one on Fable, I was like, well, I have to join because I love your content. So that was the book that they picked for the month. Super excited about that. It's in one of these boxes. I just don't know which one. So if I find it, I will show you what it is in case you guys have never seen it. But that being said, we're just going to jump right into it. I think we'll pick 6 because then that'll be 10 on my TBR, which is about like half of the amount that I normally read, depending on how busy I am and how many other books I pick. So start. Okay, I did put all of my prompts back in here that I had already gone through because it was just easier in this moving process. A new release. Okay, so I know there are new releases in some of these boxes. I just don't know which box. So that being said, I do have some very new releases on my TBR cart that I'm going to grab instead. And we're going to cheat that way. I do have a little spinning bookcase, like a 2-tiered spinning case that I got instead of my normal cart because I wanted something that looked a little bit better than just like a plasticky cart. So we went with that, but it's behind the boxes and you can't see it. Of course, Lincoln wanted to play while we're doing this. Okay. So I actually only had one new release on that cart. I thought I had more, but that's releasing 10, which is the newest book in the Boys of Tommy series. This is going to follow Liz and Huey. Not a huge Liz fan, but a lot of people say this book is really moving, brought them to tears, kind of like redeems Liz and everything. And I understand she has a lot to go through, so I'm trying to be a little forgiving of the way that she acted in Taming 7. Anyway, this is going to be my pick for my new release because it literally just came out, I think, this week as I'm filming this. She's a big one. It's like a 700 something page book, so hopefully we can get some smaller ones on the list. Number 2 is going to be a book set in a foreign country. Okay, that's gonna be fun. We'll see. I think we'll just go with the box that I just landed my arm on because it's the closest. I need to go find my box cutter. Alright, got my box cutter. It actually matches my nails, which is really fun. So let's see. Let's see what's in this box. Okay, this is actually a box of my classics, so we're just going to grab the first one that's on the top, which I'm actually really excited for because I've read this already and I do really enjoy it. It's Fahrenheit 451. This is like a dystopian classic that talks about like pretty much just the burning of books. The world is really, what's the word I want to use? Like, it's really driven by technology and commodities and propaganda kind of just rules everything. So people aren't allowed to have printed books, and it follows Guy Montag. He's a fireman, and his job is to destroy the most illegal of commodities, the printed book, along with the houses in which they are hidden. Montague never questions the destruction and ruin his actions produce, returning each day to his bland life and wife, Mildred, who spends all day with her television family. But when he meets an eccentric young neighbor, Clarice, who introduces him to a past where people didn't live in fear and to a present where one sees the world through the ideas in books instead of the mindless chatter of television, Montag begins to question everything he has ever known. So, like I said, I've read this before. I watched a play for it in college. I'm really excited to read it again. I feel like this is something that you just keep getting more out of, especially as you grow older and you continue to get new life views, new opinions, and new lenses that you can read classics through. So, very excited about that one. Of course, though, that doesn't fill the prompt for this at all. So we're going to find another box that would fill the prompt. Let's go with this big one right here. Okay. Oh, these are my special editions. Well, this might be cheating, but most of my fantasy special editions are, in fact, not set in the United States. So, cheating a little bit, but technically it fills the prompt. So we'll just grab some of the ones that are on the top. These are all like wrapped in bubble wrap, so it's going to take me a second to figure out what they are. Move some of the little knickknacks I had on the top. Okay. I picked the first 3 that I could find that I haven't read yet. There were a couple in here that I did already read, in fact. So the first one we'll unwrap is The Temptation of Magic. Let's see where this is set. I have no idea where this is set. I think this is like a slightly fantasy romance, it looks like. So I don't think this is set in the United States. Then we have Cruel as the Light by Sophie Clark. I've heard really good things about this one, and this is set in Europe, so very obviously one that is not in the States. And then the last one that we have is Five Broken Blades. This is another sort of fantasy element. This one, I think this one is like set, it might be set somewhere over in Asia, but I'm not sure. I know it has that like an Asian inspiration to it, so possibly. That being said, I do feel like I'm gonna have to go with Cruel as the Light because it's the one that outright says where this is set, and it's also not like cheating by picking a fantasy world because it's actually set in Europe. So I'm very, very excited about this. This is about a brutal war between demons and humanity that has raged across Europe for over a century. At its heart are 2 elite soldiers, Celine Aliva, a powerful exorcist trained at the prestigious Vatican Academy, and a foot soldier, Jules LaCroix, unrivaled in battle. When their paths cross, despite initial distrust, then unwelcome attraction, Jules and Celine discover a terrible secret at the heart of the Holy Vatican City. Soon, Jules is forced to question everything he's ever known, including himself, and Celine, unable to ignore her growing feelings for Jules, must make an impossible choice between love and duty. So, kind of giving, like, Mortal Instruments vibes with the war between demons and everything. I love the cover of this, like the naked hardback. This is a Fairy Loot edition, so, you know, they pretty consistently kill it with their special edition books. I'm very, very excited to read that one. I'll probably listen to it on audiobook because I don't want to ruin the sprayed edges or anything like that. So number 2 on our list. Let's see here. Try to get one from the bottom because I feel like I don't do that very often. Can't even see the jar. A hockey romance. Okay, you know, this would be a lot easier to do if I wasn't picking from random boxes that may or may not have hockey romances in them. So that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. We'll pick the really big box that's next to me because maybe that'll have a hockey romance in it. If not, I'm not really sure. Okay, looking at the books that are on the top of this, I don't think I ended up veering into my shelves that had hockey romances, but we'll give it a try and we'll see what we can find. As I suspected, there are no hockey romances in that box. So what I think I'm going to do is pick another prompt. If I open another box later that has a hockey romance in it, we will certainly circle back around to that prompt. But for right now, We're gonna find something different. A book with a movie adaptation. Okay, I think I can find one in this box. Okay, so I actually managed to find 2 in here, I think. I think this is turned into a movie, and it's called The Grandmothers. Yeah, it's a novel where 2 friends fall in love with the other one's teenage son, and these passions last for years until the women end them, vowing a respectable old age. Maybe not. I don't know, I feel like it is. I've definitely seen a movie where it's like they end up with each other's sons. I don't think, obviously they're not teenagers, but so there's that one. I found that in a little free library and I grabbed it, and some days I wonder why, because it just sounds like it might be a little bit weird. Anyway, and then we have Breaking Dawn, which is the last book in the Twilight series, and you're probably like, Hannah, why are you holding the last book? Because this is the only one that I haven't actually read. I've read all of the other ones, and I would like to read this. I remember the other ones well enough that I don't need to go through and read the first 3, so that's ideal. Okay. I think we're gonna, as much as I just said I don't really think I like the premise of it, we're gonna go with The Grandmothers because I want this off of my TBR. It's a lot smaller than Breaking Dawn, and I already have some very long books on the TBR since the beginning of this. So like I said, it's 2 friends that fall in love with each other's teenage sons, and I guess this is like 4 short novellas, and it follows different ones. I'm gonna guess that cover. Oh, I misread this. Okay, in the title novel, 2 friends fall in love with each's teenage sons, and that lasts for years until they vow a respectable old age. So that's the first short story. The second one is about a young woman who gives birth to a child of mixed race and struggles with feelings of estrangement as her daughter gets thrown into a world of white privilege. The third one traces the birth, faltering, and decline of an ancient culture with an enlightening modern resonances. I can't talk today. And the last one features a World War II soldier who believes he has fathered a love child during a fleeting wartime romance and cannot be convinced otherwise. I'm so confused about how all of these fit together, and very curious if they do at all. I'm gonna put my hair up because it's actually really warm in here. So anyway, we'll see. Not holding my breath for that one to be all that great. Anyway. Now that I moved the one box, you can sort of see my cute little TBR shelf that I have now. So what was that? That was 3. Keeping in mind the hockey romance for a different box. Alright. A book that gives nostalgia. See, I picked this one already earlier this year, and obviously had prompts for it, but there's only so many prompts that are going to fit that. But we're going to see what this box has in it, and whether or not any of them give nostalgia. I can think of some off the top of my head that would be great for this, but... Okay, I saved myself. This has some of my Agatha Christie books in it. That was the first thing that I saw at the top, so this is going to be my Agatha Christie pick, which is going to be Hercule Poirot's Christmas. Do I need a Christmas book in June? No, but that's okay. It says, on the night before Christmas, cruel, tyrannical, filthy rich Simon Lee is found in his locked bedroom with his throat cut. Now Hercule Poirot must put his deductive powers to the test to solve one of his most chilling cases and to prevent a clever killer from spilling more blood. The last couple Agatha Christie books I've read haven't been ones with Hercule Poirot as the protagonist, so I'm kind of excited to get back to some of his stories. Okay, that being said, I do have to pick a different box to try to find something that gives nostalgia. We're going to pick the tiny one. Don't think that's going to go the way that I want it to, but that's okay. Oh, these are my Mary Higgins Clark books. Okay, so second box that got out of the running for this. So we're going to pick You Don't Own Me. This one follows... Oh, okay, so she has a couple that are like interconnected standalone mysteries where there's like a thread that connects them. Obviously that's what interconnected standalone means. Like an underlining plot that connects the main character to a few books, and then the mysteries are different. So this is one of those. So the main female character in these like couple books that connect has a TV show called Under Suspicion, kind of like a true crime thing where she reopens cases where nothing is solved, and she interviews the people that are the main suspects in the cases. So in this one, she's approached by this couple whose son was shot dead in his driveway. They've always believed that his wife had something to do with it, that she was responsible, despite her claims to the contrary. They ask her to reopen the case because they're trying to petition for custody of their grandson. So she starts digging into the case and uncovers all of these secrets and lies about the husband, the wife, and the entire mystery that happened. So those are some of my favorite Mary Higgins Clark books, that little series within all of her collection. So I'm actually really glad that that was what we picked for that. But once again, we are still on a book that gives nostalgia, and we're gonna find it, guys. We're gonna find it. Okay, we grabbed another big box because that might give me more luck here. Did I hurt myself trying to get it down from that stack? Maybe. Oh, this is maybe not gonna work either. This is kind of fun. This is kind of fun. I just never know which ones I'm gonna open, and I like that. I like that a lot. So this is a lot of like my romance books in here, which off the top of my head, there's not a ton that are going to give nostalgia, but I did just pull one out that I think I'm gonna kind of finagle to fit the bill for this. And okay, let's move the box. Okay, so that's gonna be a Safe Haven. I know you're probably like, Hannah, why is this nostalgic? This is actually a Nicholas Sparks movie that I used to watch with my parents a lot. For some odd reason, my dad loves it, which is weird because my dad's not a huge like rom-com, romance, chick flick sort of person, but he really enjoyed this movie. And I know my parents and my brother, when I was in college, went to the town that some of this is set in I think North Carolina, yeah, which I was a little bit jealous about. But they said they really liked it, so like this is just nostalgic for that purpose of the movie and everything like that. Obviously, I haven't read the book, that's why it's on my TBR. So this is about a young woman who disappears from her life and shows up in this small little beach town in Southport, North Carolina. She's not really very open about herself, and she ends up meeting a man in the town named Alex. He's a widowed store owner with 2 young children. She starts forming this connection with them, this relationship with them, but of course her past starts creeping in and causing problems. I really love this. I do know where the story goes, so I'm trying not to talk too much about it anymore because I'm going to give something away if you guys haven't read it yet. But yeah, so that's going to be the one for my nostalgic read. So that is 4 books so far. We have 2 more to pick. A book for my 2025 TBR. Okay, that might actually be really hard to pick from one of these boxes. So I don't think that we're going to. I think I'm just going to pull my phone out and we're going to see what else I have on my 2025 TBR that I haven't gotten to yet. Spoiler, there's a decent amount because a lot of these are series that I didn't finish or haven't even started yet. So, oh my goodness. There are a lot in here that I like. So, Throne of Glass, I need to start. Quicksilver, I started the Zodiac Academy. I could continue that. The Crimson Moth, started the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, started Mistborn, Indigo Ridge, Lovely War, Beartown, Tenders of Flesh, Summer Sisters. Let's see here. Actually, as I was sitting here, I realized that the box with all my romance books, or a lot of them, probably had this book in it, and that is Magnolia Parks. It did, in fact. This is on my 25 and 2025, so we're reading this. I've worked around the rules a little because I didn't open a new box, but like we could have been here for a really long time if I tried to do that to find one that has one of these books in it. So we're going with Magnolia Parks. I've heard so much about this series, the toxicity of it, just the drama. It's apparently very polarizing. You either love it or you hate it, and I'm intrigued to see which side I fall on for this. Okay, one more prompt, unless I pick a box that has some of my hockey romances in it, in which case I might, we'll see which prompt I feel like picking. All right, a book that starts with the letter of the month. So we're gonna go with June, so J. See what we can come up with. Which box do I want? Which box do I want? Ah! I guess we'll just go with the one that's closest to me. See what we got. I'm kind of hoping for one of my dark romances, in all honesty. Although I don't know if any of my dark romances have the title that starts with J. Oh, these are my special editions. Okay, we're not doing that because I don't like to read more than one of my special editions each month, mainly because, like I said, I listen to the audiobook and I only have so many Audible credits that I can use. Why did I not put special edition on there? I thought I labeled all of them. Oh well, that's a flaw in the packing system. Okay, we'll try this one. Alright. So this is not my box with any of my dark romance, I don't think, but that's okay. So, none of those are J's. See what these are. Oh, we got some of my Zodiac Academy. Unfortunately, neither of those start with J. Not that it would help anyway, because the odds are not the second one in the series anyway. Okay, slight problem. This box doesn't have any that start with the letter J, so we're gonna have to find yet another box. Move you guys so you're not directly looking at a box. This is just chaotic. I'm so sorry, but it's kind of fun. Or at least it's fun for me. I hope it's fun for you guys. Hopefully this one, third time's the charm. Third time is in fact not the charm, because that is a lot of special edition books again and Agatha Christie books. I didn't even know Horton was up on the chair, but he was like behind my stack of boxes. That was so funny. This is getting frustrating. This is getting frustrating because this box is a no as well. I feel like I'm making this process much more difficult for future me when I have to move all of this stuff. And I go, why did you do this? Running out of boxes. I have this one and then one more. Never thought I would struggle this much to find a book that started with J. Who would have guessed? We are on to the last box that I have upstairs, and I refuse to go grab a different one. So if this doesn't work, we're picking a different product. I couldn't find one that starts with a J. We're done. I'm done. I also couldn't find a hockey romance in any of those most recent boxes. So, a book that matches my outfit. Okay, I'm wearing a navy blue shirt, and then I have like these light wash denim jeans, so going with something blue, I guess. Just gonna start picking from the stacks that are now surrounding me. Okay. 3 right off the bat that kind of look like they would match. We have the Midnight Library. Obviously this is very dark blue. We have the Bridge Kingdom. This is kind of like a lighter blue, so I don't really know about this one. And then we have A Curse So Dark and Lonely. Okay, these are both series, and I really don't need to be starting any more series right now. I'm already starting a couple this month. So we're gonna go with the Midnight Library. I've heard that this is really like whimsical, cute. It says, we all have regrets, choices we could have made differently, paths we didn't take, other lives we might have led, but what if you were given a chance to fix your past? Enter the Midnight Library. Nora's life has been going from bad to worse. Then at stroke of midnight on her last day on Earth, she finds herself transported to the Midnight Library, where each book contains an alternate life, a possible world in which she made different choices. She's given what seems like the ultimate opportunity, a chance to undo her regrets and try out each of the other lives she might have lived. But things aren't always what she imagined they'd be, and soon her choices place the library and herself in extreme danger. Before time runs out, she must answer the ultimate question with infinite choices: what is the best way to live? It sounds like it's very thought-provoking and emotional, and like everybody wants the chance to redo some of their past mistakes. So like, I love the concept, but yeah, I think this is going to be very thought-provoking, but it's also a little bit shorter than some of the other books on my TBR this month, so that's exciting. To recap all of the books, because at this point I feel like we've gone on quite the journey trying to get here. We have Fairydale. I did not find that in any of these boxes, so I don't know where that's packed away. We're gonna have to find that at some point. But we have Fairydale going on the list. Then we have You Don't Own Me as my Mary Higgins Clark, Hercule Poirot's Christmas for my Agatha Christie, Fahrenheit 451 for my classic. Then we have The Midnight Library. It's a book that matches my outfit. Magnolia Parks as a book that's on my 25 in 2025 list. Safe Haven for a book that gives nostalgia. The Grandmothers. Oh, this is like a book that has an adaptation, which again, I am now no longer certain that that is accurate. But we're going with it because I think it is. That's the reason I picked it up, because I thought it was based on that movie. Then we have Cruel is the Light for a book that is set in another country. And for a new release, we have Releasing 10. Okay. This, like I said, was a journey, but we're here. I'm very warm right now. I look like a train wreck. My room looks even more of a train wreck, so I'm going to go try to sort my life out. And yeah, I will see you guys in another video very soon. Like I said, I got some vlogs coming and everything. Just have a little bit of chat with you guys, talk about everything that's been going on and sort of where I've been. But that's it for this video. If you want to stick around and see any more that are coming soon, if you like my chaotic mess, this is how it normally goes. So just preparing you for what you're in for if you want to continue watching my videos. But I will see you guys hopefully in another one very soon. Bye.